Welcome back to AgriTalk in Orlando, Florida at the National Ethanol Conference. Our guest, President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Bob Dinneen. Always good to talk with you. You and I were just discussing where the industry's at right now. I mean, this isn't the best of times for those in the business as far as making money. But when we look at this meeting here, about 1,200 people, these people are serious, committed to the industry. They're in it for the long haul.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a time when we probably had 2,400 people at this conference, but, they might have been people looking for the quick buck. They were, all excited about the enthusiasm around the industry, but these are the people that are in it for the long haul. These are people that are committed to their communities. These are people that are really trying to build something. And it really is an exciting time in the industry. Even if the marketplace today isn't great, I think the folks here in this room know that that's cyclical. They're looking to the marketplace turning around. They know that it will. And I think they have a very sober attitude about the business, but still a very enthusiastic and committed attitude about what this industry is doing for our nation's real economy, our nation's energy security, and ultimately the world's environment.
Let's talk about some of those things, and you touched upon a lot of them in your speech here at this meeting. I mentioned this earlier. I think this gets overlooked. People somehow act like ethanol is such a small thing or doesn't make that big of a dent or doesn't make that big of a difference. Your numbers that you've put together here really show the impact this industry is making now.
Well, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to take a step back. The marketplace is going to be what the marketplace is. But let's take a look at what this industry is doing in terms of revitalizing rural America and what this industry has meant. Ethanol today is the most important value-added market for farmers, and we sometimes forget it or we shy away from it, and maybe even some of our detractors don't like the fact that one of the reasons for the ethanol program was to increase farm income. Well, I think we've done that. When you look at farm income this year topping $100 billion for the first time in history, that tells you we've been successful. And you've seen increased revenue across all sectors of agriculture. Yes, crop prices are at record levels, but so are livestock prices. The fact of the matter is the DDGs that we produce is helping to lower their feed costs, is helping them to extend protein supplies, and is helping them to be profitable too. The livestock sector is seeing record profitability and receipts this year. So across all of agriculture, ethanol is making a difference. And that is what was intended with this program. And I want people to understand this is a success, not a failure.
You mentioned the other day, and I want to get this number again, because there are people that want to tear down the Renewable Fuels Standard. Since the RFS has been in place, we have seen a significant decrease in our dependence on other countries for our oil.
Oh, that's absolutely right. In 2005, when the RFS was passed, the United States was 60% dependent on imported oil. Today, we're at 45% dependent. We have improved that much. Now, a lot of the detractors of our industry want to say, well, that's because of increased oil production in the United States. And yes, we are getting more oil today from North Dakota, and there is more oil supply these days from Marcellus Shale or Canadian tar sands. But people forget that in 05, 06, 07, and 08, oil production in the United States was falling. The increased supplies are only recent. And since 2005, 81% of the new fuel production in this country is attributable to ethanol. Ethanol is what has driven our dependency down to 45%. And people need to understand that. The RFS has been a huge success. It did what it was intended to do in terms of reducing our dependency on imported oil from parts of the globe that don't like us very much.
And quickly, before we wrap it up here, we're very close, it would seem now, for E15.
We are indeed. Last Friday, EPA approved the health effects data that we had submitted to the agency. It has triggered ethanol marketers and producers to begin registering to sell E15. Just in the past several days, I know of 20 RFA members that have registered with EPA, so we are beginning that process. We filed a misfueling mitigation plan with the agency. We think that's going to be approved very soon, and we're getting very excited that commercial availability of E15 is going to get here quite soon.
And one other note real quick. At a time where we're concerned about creating jobs, the ethanol industry is indeed creating jobs in this country.
90,000 direct jobs today. Those are high-paying jobs with benefits. Another 311,000 indirect jobs. Look, we are driving employment in this nation. We are creating economic opportunities across all sectors. This industry has a great story to tell. We're going to tell it.
Very good. Good to see you again.
Great seeing you. Thanks for being here, Mike, and thanks for all that you do to correct a lot of the misinformation that's out there about our industry and all of agriculture. You did a great job.
Thank you very much. Bob Dinneen, President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association. And again, quite a story to tell, and we're going to be trying to tell it here today and tomorrow and on down the line, some numbers that oftentimes get overlooked. All right. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago with the biodiesel industry, attracting the best and brightest young minds to the industry. That's going on with the ethanol industry as well. We're going to tell you about that when we come back here to Orlando, Florida, the National Ethanol Conference. This is AgriTalk.